come looking all fitted. Maybe because I have to jog coming into the studio and then burn those fats and just to keep fit for Thursday, like we used to tell our guests. Your health is very, very important. Everyone who watches the show, you know that Thursdays we just dedicate it to our health, because if you don't have a healthy family, what else are you gonna have? Welcome to Family and Values. Thank you for being our guest on Thursday. Today is the second day in the month of May. like play, May is going to be fast. It's already running, day 2 going. Before you blink, you're on day 15th and you're like, so fast. So if you've not gotten those things you wrote down when we started the year, your goals, go back to them. Check the ones you've done. Tick it. The ones you're yet to complete, pick up yourself, ask yourself questions. Why haven't you completed them? And then see how you can sit down, re-strategize, rearrange yourself, and at least achieve something. We are streaming across all our social media platforms. Please, I keep begging you, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on your Facebook notification, your X notification, so that you know when the beautiful ladies appear on your screen. And download our Galaxy mobile app, so that while you are in the office, you will not miss out on very educative, interesting topics on family and value. Okay, my name still remains Joy Abu. Like you know, when you see these beautiful faces, it's family and value. And I have the one that brings, when somebody completes you and bring radiation into you. I saw her this morning and I was like, what is it? Why are you doing this to us, Jai? She came in looking, when somebody is giving you that bouncy look and she's coming looking bing bing. I thought that don't worry, it's one of those things. Like somebody gave her a name, Mama Jesus. That is the nickname I've added to my father. This morning, they looked at her, they said, let's give her another title, Mama Jesus. Good morning, Olori. You see, I didn't want to tell you that I was going to add that nickname to your name when I come on there. Now, don't worry, I know.
It's allowed. You're capable of amazing things.
Yeah.
That's what I got this morning. You out there, Joy, right here. I guess it said, IHOP, irrespective of your age, your tribe, your tongue, how far you've gone in life, how many times fallen, you're capable of great things. You're capable of amazing things. So it's amazing Thursday to you out there. It's so good to be here. And like she said, it's not today I've been called Mama Denzi. Whatever name you call me, it's thick. It's thick. And as long as you're just trying to make me feel I'm appreciated, I love it. I'm not taking it for granted. Thank you for even looking at my size. Thank you for noticing me. Thank you. Yes, not looking at all the bad things I do, for picking those good ones. I appreciate that. I promise I will not fail you. My name is Remain Olori Adejoke Adobi David. My friends call me Olori AJ. Like I said, you're capable of amazing things. So no matter how far or how well you have been able to do whatever it is that you have been doing for so long, just keep on doing it. As long as it is good. Like I said yesterday, is it the good thing you're doing? Are you doing it right? Are you doing it for yourself? Fish, purpose. Like, there was a time we had a discussion. So do you, I guess, do you know many people actually do good to you out of selfish, their own selfish interest? They will do it just because, so that people will know that I'm doing it. No, it's not the way it should be. Do it when people are watching or when people are not watching. It's a healthy Thursday. And I hope you're ready to go with us, because we're ready to fly.
Yes, we are ready to fly. Very, very ready to fly. Have you noticed that suddenly the transport system, the first is becoming normalized? Nobody is panicking.
There's still
like
queue,
there's still queue, but what I'm
there's
saying
still queue.
Panic, no, the panic when it comes to the commuters is a bit calm. Everybody is gradually adjusting.
That is one thing with Nigerians.
That's the spirit about Nigeria.
We are so special, so amazing. We take a lot in, and yet we try to shake it off. We shake it off not because it's, we want to be able to tell you we are, just like we say here this morning, you are an amazing person.
Of course.
And you need to keep on pushing.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Nothing should stop you. No challenge, no situation should stop you, because you are more than able to be amazing.
Yes, you're more than able to be amazing. This morning, we won't take so much of your time because the topic we want to discuss is something that is very educative to whether you're a young girl, a lady, even a husband, a wife, a brother, an in-law. It's something you need to know because you need to educate your female ones around you. Let's go on a mini feature, and when we return, our guest is seated in the building, ready to take us on that journey of conversation. We'll see you on the other side. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you've not missed anything because that was our mini feature, an intro into today's topic. If you have followed us throughout last month, we started with breast cancer. We started with prostate cancer, yes, went into breast cancer, went into cervical cancer, and today we are dealing with ovarian cancer. Last week, Thursday, we talked about drug abuse. You know, that's one thing topic I want people to really go back and listen to. So we've been dealing with a series of cancer, and today we are dealing with ovarian cancer. It's important because we just discovered that people know this cancer by name, but not what is involved. You ask somebody, oh, what do you know about prostate? They just tell you, hey, it happens to men. But we needed to give viewers and our guests detailed information about how to prevent yourself, how to protect yourself, how to keep yourself. Like, you know, for the people that have multiple partners, how will you know that cervical cancer can come as a result of having multiple partners? So this is what we are talking about. So today we are dealing with ovarian cancer, and we have a very handsome medical doctor in the building. When I say handsome, you know now, I don't
He's smiling. He's already blushing
now. Joy is introducing him, so he will blush. A very handsome medical doctor in the building.
Young.
Very young. Let me put it again.
Young,
handsome medical doctor. You know, some people you see them and say, this one, as a medical doctor, Bukuru number one. When you combine brain, handsomeness, and smartness to become a medical doctor, know that these are the kind of doctors that when you go to the hospital, you say, doctor, you're still paining me here because you want to be seeing his face and be smiling. But hey, be careful. We have Dr. Kelvin Isibo in the building. Am I right with that name?
Yes.
Okay, yes, he is a medical doctor and a writer. I want to ask him what he's been writing.
He just had one. He's going to put it out
so
soon.
We need to ask. Good morning, doctor. Welcome.
So good to have you.
Dr. Kelvin, this one you're looking I told you this morning, you can't go like this, so I will pick something from you. I want to pick something from my guest, I will pick.
Won't you go and pick from you? I'm just imagining.
Don't worry, there's a chain I will pick.
Okay, there's a chain. You don't even see chain.
I saw the sun, my eyes are
Please, when you are coming next time, please make sure you are wearing a screen that nothing can detect.
Good morning, welcome.
Good morning.
It's so good to have you. Good morning.
Thank you for honoring our invitation within a short period of time. Really
Thank
appreciate
you for inviting me.
Yeah, so good to have you.
He's a very calm doctor. I've seen him operate, you know, so he's very calm and he doesn't affect his patients. Okay, doctor, we are discussing ovarian cancer.
Yes.
Now, in a layman's terms, for our viewers, for the young girl, for the market woman out there, what is ovarian cancer in the simplest? I don't mean doctors and you know, people have one handwriting that only pharmacists used to understand.
Yes,
so now,
ordinary person will not.
How do the ordinary lady out there, how do you explain ovarian cancer to that lady out there?
Okay. Ovarian cancer is simply excessive abnormal growth of the ovary.
Okay.
So cancer itself just means you have just the way you have normal growth, but this time it is excessive and it is abnormal. Normal growth means something is growing in proportion to its stimulus, like there is a reason for the growth. But now we don't have any particular reason why the cells should be growing in that order. It is growing out of proportion. But now this growth is limited to the ovary.
Okay.
You know, due to a disorder, dysregulation, genetics, multiple factors here and there. You know, but it is specific to the ovary. An abnormal growth that is not in proportion to any particular stimulus. So that is what we call ovarian cancer, and it has a probability or a tendency to spread to other parts.
To other parts.
Yeah,
wow.
so that is what will differentiate ovarian cancer from regular ovarian tumor, which is tumor means a swelling, they are all good. But if it is cancer, there is a tendency for it spreading to another part.
Okay.
Wow. You talked about now it is going in this direction because this has always been its line and all that. You also talk about multiple factors. I want to now ask, what can cause ovarian cancer? Is ovarian cancer the link to ovarian cysts? What's the difference between ovarian cancer and ovarian cysts? I know you understand where I'm going now.
Yeah.
So I have to question for you.
Okay.
What are the causes of ovarian cancer? Then what's the difference between, because when I hear ovarian cancer, I've heard of ovarian cysts. So what's the difference between ovarian cancer and ovarian cysts? Those are two questions I have for you.
Ovarian cancer is different from ovarian cyst in the sense that they are both growths of the ovaries, but when it is a cyst, it comprises mainly of fluid, a fluid-filled cavity, more or less like when you have a boil. So you have a cavity that is filled mainly with fluid. So that is a cystic growth. But if it is ovarian cancer, it is usually solid. So the constituent, what is inside, it is not in liquid form, it is solid.
Like a bar.
Yes. Even other than that.
Other than that,
yes.
okay.
So, but the causes of ovarian cancer, we can't really say for sure that this is particularly what caused ovarian cancer, but we can only talk about the risk factors.
So
that if you see things like this, it is likely the person is going to get ovarian cancer.
So what are those things that we should know?
So some of the risk factors include things like family history. Somebody is giving you an history and say, oh, my grandmother had ovarian cancer, my mother had ovarian cancer, my auntie had ovarian cancer, you know, or they are giving you other, if the patient is telling you they've had other form of cancer or they've seen other forms of cancer in their family members or in the patient, you know. So things like breast cancer, things like colon cancer, they are, you know, closely linked. So we call them Lynch syndrome. So once you start seeing one type of cancer, you can suspect that, okay, this person is likely to have ovarian cancer. Then also another risk factor is age. It is not likely, ovarian cancer can occur in any age, but commonly you see it in the older men, you know, above 50, 60, 70, thereabouts. So it is common among that particular age group. Then also we look at parity, you know, if the person has given birth or not, because the origin of ovarian cancer, there are different types. It can be epithelial. So the way I can describe it is, let's say you have like, let's say you are cooking, because I like food.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
so
why you're looking
We are going to
at
pay you a visit. We'll bring you the footages.
Okay.
We're going to pay you a visit.
So let's say you have like a pot of stew,
Stew.
and you have say you have your beef inside.
Okay.
So the pot itself, we can call that the epithelium, what is covering the soup.
So,
Then the tomato that you used in preparing the stew, the tomato itself, we can call that the stroma cells. You know what is in between the different meat, you can see like the stew attaching the meat and you know things like that. Then the meat itself, we can call that the germ cell. So depending on where the cancer is coming from, the aggressive growth can be from the pot itself, you know, so let's say the epithelium. So if we call that epithelial cancer of the ovary. So if it is coming from the stroma cell, you know, which is the stew itself, but if it is coming from the beef that you use in preparing that stew, you call that a germ cell tumor. So the germ cell is what we have as the eggs, the follicles, you know, that is responsible for forming babies, you know, during reproduction.
Yeah.
But the stromal cells are just like an attachment, then the epithelial cells are what is just covering the whole thing. Yes, so the age that you are likely to find the germ cell tumor, that is the one that is particular to the egg, the follicle itself, you are likely to find it among the younger age group. So if, for example, I meet, let's say, a 7-year-old girl comes to the clinic, complain of abdominal pain, you know, things like that, and we do an ultrasound scan, and I'm seeing something like, we are seeing a mass about 7-8 centimeters. Usually when it is cancer, it is larger. If it is not a cancer, it's usually less than 6 centimeters, can be 3, 4, 5 centimeters, you know. But let's say I'm seeing something about 7-8 centimeters, and okay, likely, you know, for that particular age group. And then they'll tell you, oh, that what you are seeing now, it is solid. Okay. You know, like, unlike the what I told you before, if it is cystic, you know, but now this one is, they tell you it is solid, then they tell you the edge is rough. We describe it as being nodular, you know. So if you sit in a younger age group, most likely it's a germ cell tumor. Okay. You know, but the common ones we see, the most studies we have done is on the epithelial tumors. You know, the one I describe as the port itself. You know, we see that one commonly in the older age group. You know, let's say people in their 60s, 70s, thereabouts. We see it in the older age group. So what we recognize as the age factor is, say, okay, the age, the person is older, as the person giving birth or not. You know, if the person tells you, because the origin is that as one is ovulating every month, you know, it's more or less like the egg is coming out, it will rupture, the epithelium goes out, the epithelium will repair itself. So it is more or less like repeated trauma and repair. Kind of along the way, the epithelium loses its ability to repair itself and causes abnormal growth. More or less like when you see somebody that has keloid and the person say, oh, I have a cut, but I don't know what happened. There's just this big scar and it is increasing. You know, the wound is no longer there, but I don't know why this. So cancer is just like that. So after the person, you know, so now for when we see, if you are dealing with things like cervical cancer and the rest like that, the more children you have, the more likely the person is going to have it. But for those that have not given birth, is that taken? The person is more likely to have more ovulation, so more wear and, you know, more tear and repair, more tear and repair. So, but if you have given birth, as at the time the person was pregnant, for at least 9 months, you are not ovulating within that 9 months. So that tear and repair is not going on. So the person is protected within that period. Okay. Another thing is, after you give birth, did you breastfeed or not? People that breastfeed are likely not to ovulate within that period because it's a form of contraception.
For 2 years.
Yes, so some people, usually they say, okay, breastfeed for 2 years thereabouts. But, you know, some people now, because of the latest trend, they say, I don't want to breastfeed because I don't want to lose my figure and things like that. Some will tell you they've done breast surgery, so because of that, they don't want to breastfeed. When you don't breastfeed, these people tend to ovulate more. You know, let's say after 3 months, they start ovulating. And the tear and repair period continues, you know. So giving birth, you know, that pregnancy is a protective period. The period of breastfeeding is a protective period. Then also people that use other forms of contraception, you know, things like COCP, they take all these drugs. Some of these, you know, some of these drugs prevent one from ovulating. So it's a kind of protective period. Mind you, these drugs are related to other forms of cancer. It's preventing you from ovarian cancer, but
it's leading you
there's a predisposition to other forms of cancer.
Another one
yes, you know, but for ovarian cancer in particular, it is a form of protection. Then also, they said in developing countries like ours, we have noticed that ovarian cancer is lesser compared to the developed world because in developed countries, you are likely to have a young woman just wake up one day and tell you, well, I don't want to have a child, I think it's stressful, I don't see the benefits in it, I don't want to lose my shape, and things like that. So they tend to ovulate for a longer time, you know, but
they are not protected.
That protection, they are out of that, protection. But in developing countries where you have, even the person is poor, having 9, 10 children. So if you look at it, it's as if for every child, let's say you have a protection for 2 years, and the person has like 9 children. You know, so if you look at it, 9 times 2, that's like 18 years protection. So the chances of having ovarian cancer is lesser. But newer studies are saying the prevalence of ovarian cancer is steady in developed countries because nothing much has changed. But in developing countries like ours, we notice, okay, the trend is changing now. We are now having more incidents, that's more new cases of ovarian cancer in our society, maybe because people are changing their lifestyle, different decisions. They tell you, some people have seen some patients in our clinic now. I'm just surprised. A girl will tell you she's in her 20s, say, I do not intend to get married, I don't want to have child. You say, that is my decision and it is final. You are beginning to see things like that.
It's all right.
Then it could also be because people are now more aware of ovarian cancer. They are now doing the test. Unlike before now, somebody can have ovarian cancer and the person is not even aware, you know, and they just say, oh, well, it's spiritual, whatever, spiritual attack. The person had swollen tummy and after some time the person died, you know, and things like that.
Okay, doctor, thank you very much. It's been a very educative one. Trust me, I'm learned. Let's go on our word of mouth. And when we return, Dr. Kevin is still in the studio. Okay, welcome back. We have been discussing ovarian cancer with Dr. Kelvin. He is a medical doctor, very handsome. You know, he said he loves food, so he used food to describe what will give you an insight into what ovarian cancer looks like. Okay, doctor, before we went on that break, you had done a lot of explanation. But then there was an incident that happened. A very popular actress that came on air to say she removed her womb because she was diagnosed of ovarian cancer. Now, my question is, at what stage could that have gotten to? When it got to that point that the only option is let's remove the womb, automatically there is no childbearing there at all. So can ovarian cancer lead to the removal of womb?
Well, yes, it can. It depends on the age of the person.
Okay, yes.
If you've given birth to all the children you want in life, what do you need?
But this person has not given birth and she's on the other side.
Well, because ovarian cancer is an intra-abdominal tumor, unlike breast that as the thing is increasing, you can feel it. Or maybe let's say you are playing with your partner and you say, there's this mass in your breast and you feel it. For ovarian cancer, it's not like that. People don't usually detect it early. It is usually detected late. So let's say if you have stage 1, where the cancer is limited to the ovary, and the person has not given birth, you can remove the ovary unilaterally one side. You can remove the tube on that side and say, okay, because you still want the person to give birth, and you preserve the other reproductive tract and things like that. But because people don't usually pick it early, even when you see a patient, you tell them, oh, there's a mass. I've noticed a mass in your tummy and we want us to investigate further. And the person tells you, doctor, these tests are expensive, and besides, I'm feeling any pain. So what if I did not come to say, I just want to do checkup? Would you have noticed it?
Have noticed?
This is how you people behave, just to collect money from us, and they go back. It can be maybe after 5 years, thereabouts, and the person is coming back, says, doctor, I noticed my tummy is increasing and all of that. So now it is no longer limited to the ovary. So if it is stage 1 limited to the ovary, you can remove one side, and so that the person have a chance of giving birth. Or if it is stage 2, it has moved from that side but within the pelvis. Stage 3, it has moved from the pelvis to the abdomen, and then stage 4. So anything after stage 1, we want to remove everything, because let us not forget it's cancer. There's a tendency for it to spread. You know, and the way it spread, just like when you have the mass there, it spread like a seed. It just breaks off, moves to another side, it starts spreading like, you know, just like you are planting something, you know, and things like that. So after stage 1, but how often do we still see stage 1? Rarely, because people don't come for a regular check. Let's not forget, most people pay out of pocket. And even those that are using insurance, HMO, not every HMO does regular screening tests and say, okay, every 2 years or every year you go for screening tests and things like that. You know, so most of the time we pick late, and when we pick it late, you have to remove everything. But there are other options for those that are younger and things like that. If you know there's a family history, you can just freeze your egg, you preserve it. When it's time for you to have kids, the egg still carries your gene and everything. Even if they remove the ovary and remove everything, there's still chance of giving birth.
There's still chance of. So you have given us a preventive measure now to avoid ovarian cancer.
Yes.
Okay. I want to ask people who are already, who have already hit the menopausal stage.
Yes.
Are they prone to have ovarian cancer?
Well, yes, they are the ones likely to be affected.
How?
Ovarian cancer is mostly post-menopausal. You know, those are the age group it's more. The epithelial type, it is people that are past menopause. They are the ones mostly at risk. You know, so let's say the woman comes to the clinic and tells you, I'm bleeding from vagina, whenever I have sex it is painful and things like that. You know, you want to screen for ovarian cancer. We see it more in that particular age group. So postmenopausal women are mostly affected, mostly. But
if they are not having blood after sex or seen any traces of blood, they can always go to rest and just live healthy.
Well, not really. Remember I said it's a mass, it is growing. If you pick it early, you know, so normally people should go for regular checks, you know, and just say, okay, you want to do a checkup, and if you pick
I need to clear that's from my mind first. Now, my main question. Now, can it prevent people from concepting, as in ladies who are, you know, ripe and ready to get pregnant, if they should discover this, maybe marrying late? You understand, maybe 45, close to 50, we have people who are 50 who are just getting married. Are they prone, can this prevent or hinder them from concepting, you know, easily or quickly? That's 1. 2, can it affect the fetus in case someone is pregnant? You know, sometimes they don't have fibroid growing with the fetus alongside, you have to operate. Has there been any case of a pregnant lady, a pregnant woman, let me put it that way, who has also been, you know, diagnosed to have ovarian cancer?
Yes.
And how does that?
A woman can be pregnant and still have ovarian cancer. Remember I said there are 3 broad groups. I use the pots as the epithelial type. I said the soup itself. It can be the stroma, you know, the stroma cell. You know, it can be affected, and there's cancer from that origin. You know, and we have the beef you use in parent, which is the germ cell. The germ cell, people that have not reached puberty, but those that have reached puberty, they are in their reproductive, they are likely to see the stroma cells. You know, the sex cord. Those are the ones that are likely to be affected. And the significance about this is when you have this type of cancer in this region, you know, from the sex cell, the stroma sex cell, if you have it around this region, this type of cancer, they produce more of estrogen, testosterone. So let's say the woman is pregnant and she's carrying a female child. Because this cancer is producing a lot of testosterone, it can cause pseudo-hermaphroditism, like the child is looking like an hermaphrodite, you have a female looking like a male. Because of the effect of the testosterone that you have in excess, you know. changing some of the features you are supposed to see. Even in the woman, the female, the patient, you know, there are some changes you see. She can start growing beards, her voice deepens, you know, some of the effect of testosterone, you can start seeing some of these things, but she can be pregnant and still have, you know, so if she's pregnant and we see a child like that, you want to, okay, what are the reasons why will a child that is a female looking like a male and things like that? Ovarian cancer could be one of the causes why you have things like that.
Okay, now you see why it's important we bring these things to the light of our viewers, because I mean, I'm just I wouldn't say it's really deep. It's really deep. Yes, an eye opener. Now, when we started, you said something about people having ovarian cancer without noticing it. They suddenly have a swollen tummy, and then they talk about religious aspect. How has religion affected the awareness of ovarian cancer? Because you just said something. Somebody will now accuse you, because you want to collect money. That is why am I not the one that brought myself to the hospital? Now you're saying this. And truly, there's no time you get to the hospital to do a particular checkup that they wouldn't find something.
Definitely.
Definitely they will find they would definitely find something. Because I remember when I was pregnant for my son, I went for the first scan. They said, we are seeing one small fibroid growing. I said, hey, the boy will sometimes the fibroid. But that's on the lighter. Now, how has religion, have you had issues where you tell a patient like, this is a clear ovarian cancer, and the person walks away thinking one miracle would happen somewhere? How has religion? And then we see children with pudectomy. Is there a specific age limit that's okay? From this age to this age, they are at risk. From this age to this age, they are safer.
Well, for ovarian cancer, everybody is at risk.
Even the 3-year-old?
Everybody is at risk. But like I said, once you do the ultrasound scan, depending on what you are seeing on the ultrasound scan, will give you an idea if it is ovarian cancer or not. So if you see somebody that has not gotten to the age of puberty, a 5-year-old child, you are seeing adnexal mass, meaning a mass around the ovary, you know, and they say the mass is solid, it is immobile, it's not moving, it is nodular, meaning the surface is rough, you know, it is about 8 centimeters, greater than 6 centimeters thereabout. You know, that is telling you that this is likely to be ovarian cancer. You know, because for that age group and the features, I've given the features, what they will see on the scan, you know. So, most likely a germ cell tumor, that is, you know, if the person is within the reproductive age, you know, I said the sex, the stromal sex cells are likely to be affected. You know, then if the person is postmenopausal, mostly the epithelial, the epithelial type. So everybody is at risk. Then as the aspect of religion, well, there are two sides of it. In the sense that religion, what it used to be before and what it is now, there are two different scenarios. We have some pastors, general overseers that are doctors, you know, some that are medically inclined, some of them are professors. When you meet people like that, they are not likely to dismiss whatever the doctor is telling you, you know. And even in the Bible, when Jesus saw somebody that was sick, even after healing the person, he said, show yourself to the priest, which was the doctor of those days. You know, doctor, even Jesus did not despise the effort of physician. So if you meet a learned pastor, you know, a learned cleric, even if it's a Muslim, a Christian, they are not likely to dismiss, you know, whatever the doctor is saying. You know, but if you meet the older ones that are not so educated and things like that, they are likely to dismiss it. You know, I've seen a situation where somebody has breast cancer. I didn't see the person. Somebody sent me the picture and just said, oh, she has a boil, and the boil has been on for over 3 months. The person has been using ampiclox.
Oh my God.
You know, I know the sister-in-law. She's sister-in-law to the person. So she sent me. I said, why will a boy persist for 6 months? She didn't go to hospital. Fair enough. They said she went to a pharmacist. I don't know. I don't think it's a pharmacist the person went to. You know, there's no pharmacist and
self-medication. Yes.
So I think maybe patent drug seller. Yes. And the person was treating. When I looked at the surface, I said, why is the breast looking like this? The edges of the wound is rough and things. I said, this is suspicious, looking like breast cancer and all of that. We discussed in the afternoon. So I told her, okay, go and do. She's a young lady, you know, in her 30s. I said, do a breast ultrasound scan and things like that. You know, I left to do other things and I put my phone on silent because I wanted to, you know, read and do something. But when I came back, I made like over 20 missed calls. Like I called back, say, oh, they did the test, confirmed it's a cancer. I said, okay, the person is not in Lagos. The person was in Ogun State. I said, send her to the teaching hospital and let them follow up from there. She said, I wrote a referral letter, sent to her. I said, you can print, take to the place who attend to you. Only for her to go to her church, the pastor said, no, it's an arrow and things like that. So most likely the pastor is not that educated. But now we see cases where, even as a Christian, they will tell you one mosque is doing outreach. Yes. If you check, it's very common. The mosque is doing outreach and they will invite doctors, both Christian doctors, Muslim doctors. Check. They call their patient, they say check for them, perhaps, you know, and all things like that. You give a lecture. In churches, they do it too. You know, so religion, sometimes they help because with this outreach, you can help to pick some cases and things like that. And the other way around, if depending on the pastors, general overseer, they are not so educated, they are likely to dismiss it and things like that. So it's both ways.
It's both ways.
Yeah, doctor, you've done a great job. And unlike when we talk about cervical cancer and the likes, is there any vaccine or pre-measured treatment? You know, and what is the treatment like? You talk about checkup. What kind of checkup? Is it a normal, regular checkup that you go for and see your doctor and all that, or there is a vaccine, or what are the things? How costly are they?
Well, healthcare, when you pay out of pocket, is expensive. Unfortunately for us, there is no screening test for ovarian cancer, unlike other forms of cancer, like breast, where you have mammogram and things like that. There are some things that can give us a clue as to, okay, maybe, you know. So let's say if, but it's not, you know, it's not a screening test. So if you see something, we have something we call tumor markers. So somebody goes for tests. Some people randomly will just come to the hospital and tell you they want to do tumor markers and things like that. So if you see something like CA125, you know, you can see you are suspecting ovarian cancer, you know, CEA, you know, things like that. Then in some other cases, you have LDH and things like that. Tumor markers, they are not specific. One can have, why the reason we don't use them as screening tests is because you can have ovarian cancer and not have any of these.
Okay.
So it is not a screening test. A screening test is a test that should be able to pick majority of the cases, most of it. But if you can have it and those things are not elevated, so what's the point? You know. Then also, if one has done an ultrasound scan that is showing us a mass, you know, and depending on the age group. So if, for example, let's say somebody that is 20-year-old comes to the clinic after an abdominopelvic ultrasound scan, and we are seeing like a cystic mass, we are likely to dismiss. Or let's say we are seeing a mass, they didn't describe whether cystic or not. You know, say, okay, for that, most of the time, it's likely going to be a functional cyst. But if you have somebody that has not gotten to the age of puberty, and you are seeing a mass, it's suspicious. Why? The person has not gotten to puberty. All those hormonal interplay that will cause a cystic, a functional cyst, they are not, you know, they are not there yet. Why are you seeing that mass? You want to investigate in a younger individual. You know, if you see an older person, you know, you see they are telling you history, there's a mass and all of that, and let's say you do a transvaginal ultrasound scan, and with transvaginal you are seeing something there, you know, they tell you it is solid and things like that, you know. So those are the things, you know, we do for now. And somebody is telling you, okay, there is family history, so this is what will inform your decision. Somebody can just say, doctor, I've noticed my elder sister has ovarian cancer, my mom died of the same thing, and I'm just worried. You know, you want to send the person, okay, do an ultrasound scan, let's see. If you see a mass, you say, okay, go and do a transvaginal, and they give you what the features looks like. You know, you want to, or the person tells you, I've been treating breast cancer and all of that, or I've had colon cancer and all of that, you know, and my sister has you know, ovarian cancer and things like, you know, you want to check further and probe, okay, let us be sure. But as for screening tests, generally we don't really have that.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Kelvin. In fact, this is really an eye-opener.
Sitting right.
Sit right, and I
am sitting right. What you read is different from what you hear.
Yes.
And it opened your eyes to so many, you know, information that you go back and go and rethink. Yes. So I'm one of those people, especially those who are in my set.
In your set.
So please.
Mama Gen Z's.
Look out for yourself if you're no longer having children, if you're no longer, you know, having your period. It's very important for you to go through all these checks, check yourself to the hospital. It's not until when you fall down, no. You just need to create that time. Maybe once a month, twice in 2 months, or, you know, just create that time. It's good for you, it's good for your health, it's good for your well-being, because your well-being is what makes your life simple, easy, accessible, and you enjoy it. Don't call me Mama Gen Z for nothing. I want to enjoy my life. Like I always tell people, this life is one, just one. Enjoy it. You can see doctor looking young. I pray you continue to look young even after you are married.
Amen.
And you continue to look young and continue to help, to care for people. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kelvin.
We are grateful. On that note, I want to say I'm wishing a very healthy Thursday. Healthy Thursday for the rest of your life in this month of May. Please stay healthy. We love you and wish you all the very best. Have a splendid day from me.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for being a part of the show today. Before I let you go, I wanted to ask, can regular exercise help in any way? Or because it's internal, nobody...
Not really.
Not really.
Ovarian cancer.
Okay, thank you very much.
The only exercise you can have
is today on Family and Violence Healthy Thursday. In fact, you know, like Olori said, what you read is different from the knowledge you hear. Listening to Doctor has really expanded my world of knowledge. You cannot know everything until you hear the professionals speak about it. Yes. So please take care of yourself. Ladies out there, don't live a careless life. Don't think, oh, because it's for those. It can happen to any age. And if you're a mother, watch out for your female children as they're growing. Don't despair the little complaints they talk about. My tummy is paining me. Oh, no. Be sensitive enough. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow as we will be discussing the loss of value for virginity. Tomorrow's Friday. You don't want to miss it because we've discovered a whole lot is happening in the society. So we'll be having that conversation tomorrow to round up our week. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Enjoy your day and stay healthy. See you tomorrow. Bye.